Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Ron Placone and Graham Elwood. Graham Elwood's a hilarious comedian. He's going to be on the road. He's going to San Francisco at the Punchline October
10th.
And then he's going to Helium Comedy Club in St. Louis in October
11th.
And then he's going to the Zanies Comedy Club in St. Charles, Pheasant Run, Illinois.
October 12th through 14.
Check out Graham's stand-up dates in October. Go to grahamelwood.com. Is that what it is?
That's correct, sir.
And then also, we're going to be doing the LA Podfest October 6th through 8th. The Jimmy Dore Show is going to be there on the 7th. That's in Los Angeles at the Biltmore Hotel. There's a link underneath. Our podcast will be there. Graham's, The Dollop. We'll have Bill Burr's podcast will be there. My Favorite Murder podcast. Lots of great podcasts. We'll see you there October 6th through 8th, LA Podfest. Okay, now let's get to this story because you know that FBI Director James Comey has had a checkered past when he's talking about black people. And for instance, James Comey, this is from The Atlantic. This is from October last year or 2015? 2015. It says the FBI's director's troubling comment on the Ferguson effect. Now, I don't know if you know what people were saying. So the Ferguson effect means that people are taking videos now of cops doing their job. And the Ferguson effect is cops are now afraid to do their job because they're going to be videotaped doing it. And I say, what's the problem? You're doing your job in public anyway. You're doing it out in front of everyone. Why can't we? You're not doing your job in secret. You're doing your job in public. Why can't we videotape it? So James Comey forwarded this bullshit notion because there's been a 2-decade crime slide, meaning that crime has reduced over the last 2 decades, and they don't know why. So remember they said it was in New York because of the broken window theory. We go after the lowest level crime. That was Rudy Giuliani. You go after window washers and it's the broken window theory, right? And because if you leave a house with a broken window, it attracts more crime. You got to fix that window right away. Turns out all the other cities that didn't do that also had crime reduction. So crime's been going down for 2 decades. They don't know why. I think I know why, but we'll talk about it later. They took lead out of the gas. Anyway, so this is what he said about the Ferguson effect, James Comey. He said, the question that has been asked of me is whether these kinds of things are changing police behavior all over the country, meaning like people videotaping cops. And so there was a spike in crime. So there was a 2-decade slide. Then there was a short spike in crime. And so people are trying to figure out what happened. Still, nobody knows. Nobody knows why crime reduced for 2 decades. They certainly don't know why there was a temporary spike. Fucking believe me. So he says, he's been asked, why do all these things whether these kinds of things are changing police behavior, or whether the videotaping is changing police behavior. And he says, the answer is, I don't know. I don't know whether this explains it entirely, but I do have. So they're saying there's a spike in crime because police are now reluctant to do their jobs because people are now scrutinizing them and they're going to videotape them. Why would they be reluctant to do their jobs if they were doing their jobs legally? So James Comey forwards that bullshit notion that, but I do have a strong sense that some part of the explanation is the explanation to why crime has spiked temporarily is a chill wind blowing through American law enforcement over the last year. The chill wind, they're fucking killing Americans left and right. American cops are the most trigger-happy cops on the whole planet, in the whole universe. There's no more trigger-happy cops. This doesn't happen in other countries. They've killed almost 800 people already this year. This does not happen in other countries. This only happens here. There's a chill wind blowing through the police? I fucking hope so. I would hope there'd be more than a chill wind. I hope we take the guns away from the cops. There's a chill wind blowing through law enforcement? Really? You know when you ever have that interaction with the cops, you know how they're scared? And they're not assholes off the bat? Me neither. Never saw that. I never saw a scared cop in my fucking life. I only saw bullies. You ever see a scared cop afraid to do his job because someone might tell on him? They're fucking killing people left and right. You can't get a cop convicted for killing someone. They choked a guy in broad daylight. Eric Garner on a street in New York City. That guy's still a cop. He didn't even get punished. Used an illegal hold, choked a guy out to death in public. Nothing happened. Anyway, I don't want to go over it all, but that's what James Comey is. And that wind is surely changing behavior. So he's trying to scare everybody that cops aren't going to keep you protected if you keep scrutinizing police criminality. So this is what The Atlantic says. The Atlantic says, so imagine if Comey's right. The spike in crime is really a Ferguson effect, and police have drastically pulled back from policing because they're afraid of being caught on camera. Civil liberties campaigners have long pushed back against the law enforcement defense of surveillance and stop and frisk, that if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to hide. That's what cops have always said. You know, when civil rights people push back against over-policing and stop and frisk, and the cops would say, if you haven't done anything, you got nothing to worry about. But now, we want to do the same thing to the cops. If you haven't done anything wrong, you got nothing to worry about. And the cops are like, we got something to worry about. By complaining that being videotaped prevents them from carrying out their duties, it seems police are finally embracing the activists' point.
Mm-hmm.
So when you turn around on cops, now cops totally get it. Wait a minute. And so James Comey went to give a speech at Howard University. By the way, they've been protesting him because he's going to be working for Howard. He's somehow. So this isn't new, and this is what happened.
Thank you, President Frederick.
No, it starts off weak, a little unfocused, unorganized. There's doing that song "We Shall Not Be Moved," which is a civil rights anthem, and there's "We Shall Not Be Moved." And it starts to pick up steam. He said, I love being black. And they're going, I love being black. That's what I hear. That's what it sounds like they're saying. Right in his freaking face. I love the color of my skin. It's the skin that I'm in. I love being black. I love this skin I'm in. I love you. Man, imagine if white people could do stuff like that. They couldn't. So that was great. I thought that was great. There's lots more problems that students have. By the way, the group is called, hang on, I'll show you. The group is called the HU Resist. HU Resist, so Howard University Resist. So that's the name of the organization. And here's what their problems with James Comey, right? So they give you some quick facts about James Comey. Here's the important part. Following the egregious murders of Michael Brown, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland, Walter Scott, Sam DuBose, and many more between 2014 and 2015, Comey popularized the term Ferguson effect, arguing that viral videos showcasing instances of police brutality obstruct law and order. Despite facing harsh criticism for such unsubstantiated claims, he just made that shit up, by the way. Just made it up. Comey later re-emphasized his bogus theory, stating a viral video effect, with officers afraid to confront potential suspects and fear of ending up on a video, could well be at the heart of a spike in violent crime in some cities. So that's just a garbage made up by the top law enforcement guy who everyone thinks has integrity. I'm telling you he doesn't, and I'm telling you he's just like any other goddamn cop. He's got a lot of psychological problems, which is why he wanted to become a cop. Okay? James Comey's just like everybody else. He ain't no better. In 2015, Comey argued that racism is not a serious issue within policing. Racial bias is an epidemic in those who join law enforcement. Law enforcement is not the root cause of problems in our hardest hit neighborhoods. So this is the Howard University Resist put this out. That same year, Comey argued that mass incarceration helps struggling communities. That's what it says. Pulling up those many weeds, as painful as that was, that's what he calls black kids, calls them weeds. Pulling up those many weeds, as painful as that was, allowed churches, schools, community groups, and parents to plant seeds that have grown into healthy neighborhoods. So if you lock up enough black, by the way, the incarceration rate is unbelievable. We have, America is the world's biggest penal colony. We have 5% of the world's population. We have 25% of the world's incarcerated people. Think about that. In the land where we pretend we're free and we have liberty. We live in a surveillance state, and we have in the world's biggest penal colony. But we have freedom. We have freedom to buy and sell shit. Under his leadership, the FBI ruthlessly surveilled activists and organizers of the Black Lives Matter movement. So the FBI have always done that. What they did, remember what they did to Martin Luther King? Remember what they did to Malcolm X? Remember what they did? The FBI terrorized those guys. And the FBI has always done that. They infiltrate civic organizations, protesters. Look what they did to blacks. So they've been surveilling and screwing with Black Lives Matter. That's why those people are protesting this guy. Because this guy pushes a false narrative that people pushing back against police brutality are somehow encouraging more crime. That's bullshit. He then surveils Black Lives Matter, infiltrate. This is who cops are. So that's why they were protesting him, and God bless them for doing that. God damn it. It makes me so happy to see that right in that guy's fucking face. And here's the letter they put out. They put this letter out on September 22nd. This morning, 50 students filed into Howard University's Camden Auditorium at the beginning of a fall convocation to disrupt the ceremony with a vigil and to express outrage over the chosen keynote speaker, James Comey. The demonstration was organized by a collective of student activists known as HU Resist, which formed last spring in response to Howard University's collaboration with the Trump administration. Convocation is an event designed to officially welcome freshmen and transfer students into the historically black university. Comey, ironically, boasted many affronts to black communities and communities of color during his tenure with the FBI, including the dismissal of racist state-sanctioned violence and efforts to dismantle the growing Black Lives Matter movement, similar to the FBI's efforts to dismantle the civil rights and black power movements just a few decades prior. James Comey represents an institution diametrically opposed to the interests of black people domestically and abroad. While his tenure at the FBI has finished, his impact on our community remains, says HU Resist. The Ferguson effect, for example, is an outright racist lie designed to undermine the black liberation movement. We will always remain principled and stand tall in the face of anti-blackness wherever it shows up. Furthermore, we challenge Howard University's ties to the establishment at large and seek to create an environment in which the spirit of liberation prevails. Yes!
Yeah, good for them.
I
Good
want
for them.
My question here is why is Howard University bringing him on here? And I think what my first thought is, it's something that Hedges talks about in Death of the Liberal Class, which is the corporate state, the deep state, has infiltrated all of these liberal institutions. Yes. We just saw this. So Harvard University revoked Chelsea Manning's fellowship.
Yep.
Right? Fordham University just let a former CIA director that was I forget his name, that was in favor of torture. He's got a fellowship at Fordham. So the fact this is what the deep state is doing.
Yes.
Howard University, a traditionally black college, is hiring James Comey, white FBI director, who's in favor of all these racist tactics. This shows you how the liberal institutions that used to resist power, they're
now in bed with power.
They're in bed with power.
Yeah. That's what neoliberalism is.
Yes.
That's what neoliberalism is. It's like, hey, come on, can't we all get along and sell out for corporations? That's what that is.
Well, whenever there's a controversial keynote speaker from now on and it gets shut down at a college campus, we can at least call it the Comey effect.
Ronnie Placone.
So the beauty of Twitter is you get to see dumbness right in your face. That's the same thing with Facebook. So here's someone who calls herself Catherine, just Catherine. Under the video that was posted, NBC News posted that video of James Comey being protested. This is what she said. WTF is their problem. I believe in free speech, but this was dumb. What are they protesting? So, Catherine, your racism's showing. Your stupid whiteness is showing. So you don't even know what they're protesting, but you're pretty sure it's dumb because they're black. Pretty sure it's dumb. What are they protesting? I don't know, but I bet it's dumb. They're black people, and they're protesting a white guy. I bet they're dumb.
And then her tweet right after that was like, who's James Comey?
Hey, Catherine, how many times have you been harassed by the cops? How many times have you been pulled over? I bet you Catherine, as a white lady, has given police attitude, and they went, all right, ma'am, just try to slow down, because she has enjoyed some white privilege throughout her life. Because a Latino or black male would get the fucking shit kicked out of them if they gave the attitude that my guess is Catherine gave off.
She doesn't even know what the issue is, but she's sure those black people are dumb.
Yes.
She doesn't even know what the issue is, but those black people are dumb. So if those were white kids at the fucking at Harvard University doing that, I'm sure you would have said the same thing. Oh, they're dumb. You'd be like, oh, I wonder what's up. What's the issue?
The white supremacists at Charlottesville.
Yeah.
You believe in free speech, but this was probably a dumb protest, Catherine.
So that's what I said to her. I said, you have no idea what black college students are protesting, but you're sure it's dumb. Nice going. And as of this taping, it has 17 likes. Somebody underneath that said, sorry, Kath, but how can you be a part? Because if you go to her Twitter feed, it's all about she's the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Said, sorry, Kath, but how can you be part of the resistance and not know the source of their anger? Yeah. That's I'm against that. What Catherine is what we call Mick resistance. You're not resisting anything. You're going along with the same neoliberal, corporatist warmongers. You just don't like Trump. You're not resisting anything. You're not resisting the corporate state. You're not resisting warmongers. You're not resisting police brutality. You're not resisting neoliberalism. You're forwarding it. And your racism showing, Catherine. You fucking idiot.
And just like the fact that it makes me even more angry that she puts hashtag the resistance.
Resistance.
I was expecting her thing to be like, I'm Trump, make America great again. Okay, fine. You're reacting the way I think a white Trump lady would react. But you think you're part of the resistance? What part of your life has been affected by this? What have you lost? What have you lost? How many friends of yours have been gunned down by the cops?
Right.
Unarmed. You have unarmed friends who were shot by cops and then the cop was acquitted. Give me the number, Catherine. How many? Oh, none. Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
You live in an all-white suburb. Got it.
How many jobs were you denied because of your skin color?
Yeah.
Catherine,
how many?
Any jobs were you denied? None? Really?
Hey, did people, when you moved into your neighborhood, did people get, uh-oh. People grab their children when you walk down the street and go, uh-oh, don't talk to that white lady.
Well, I'm sure Catherine is just thrilled that you guys just mansplained everything to her.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I know, yes. She is definitely going to play the sexism card because God forbid she goes, wow, I'm an idiot and I was wrong. I'm with her.
Hats off to the Howard University students. I think that the FBI director should be protested any time he steps on a college campus. Way to go.